People have been asking me to cover the SML Movie Resurgence mod, and while I don't really want to go over the drama associated with the mod, I will talk about the lore real quick. Now, there are only 3 characters in the mod, those being Marvin, Rose, and Does Bad Things Guy. Now, from my understanding, the song in the mod is called The Secret Door and is actually based on the episode of SML by the same name. And as some of you may know, back in the original show, Mario and the princess were playing hide and go seek with Jeffy, but in the mod, on the other hand, we actually see Marvin and Rose because SML got into like a bit of trouble for using characters that they didn't own. Now, in the original episode, when Jeffy is going to hide, he finds this black door in the house that leads down to this dark room full of bodies. And if I'm being honest, I might have to blur this a little bit because YouTube may actually flag this as being too gory because they won't recognize it as being puppets. Now, after seeing all this blood and guts, the 3 of them start to rightfully panic and end up calling the police. But when the cop gets there, the cop actually ends up being Does Bad Things Guy. And this is where it starts to get a little bit weird. Apparently, Does Bad Things guys actually gave Marvin the house under the condition that they don't open the black door. All the while, this madman has been living in the house the whole time, chopping up bodies. And to make matters even worse, whenever Marvin would call like a worker to come to the house, Does Bad Things guy would basically just take one of the uniforms from the people that he murdered, put it on, and pretend to be that worker. Which explains why in the show he actually shows up when Marvin called the police. There's also a little bit about his twin brother being a cop as well, but we don't really need to get into the weeds of the episode to understand what's happening here. And something else that I want to add here that is not a so fun fact is that apparently Does Bad Thing guy actually sold this house 26 times before, meaning that 26 different families have come into this home, probably opened the door, and have been butchered, which is why there's so many bodies down here. We see Rose kind of tied up here in the background, and I think that's supposed to kind of represent how they were actually chained up in the actual show, although I'm confused as to why Jeffy isn't here as well, because in the original show, he was also knocked out and tied up. We see that Does Bad Things guy actually has a buzzsaw like attached to his hand, and while it wasn't like that in the original episode, I think they just did that because that was one of his weapons of choice when he was actually chopping up people. The other is a hatchet, and we actually see that in the background on the table. Something else that I noticed is that a lot of the lyrics are basically what was actually being said in the original episode, except for this part right here. I honestly don't know where these lyrics are from. I thought that maybe initially they were from a different episode, but if they are, I haven't seen it. So I'm assuming maybe it's a reference to something else, or maybe the developer just put it in there because it was a cool little voice line. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this video on the screen here. Subscribe today, become a member of the Orseofkorse, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Peace, peace.